It's Friday night, time to get your nerd on. We got Mr. Know-It-All, the SaltyTrekker and Danny Dork Night. Are y'all ready? Aight, here we go. If you're looking for me, you know where to find me. Cause tonight is going down. On Friday night, we have Nerdfights. It's on tonight. On Friday night, we have Nerdfights. It's on tonight. On Friday night, we have Nerdfights. It's on tonight. On Friday night, we have Nerdfights. It's on tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to Nerd Fight!
Step into the ring, it's time to brawl. Nerd fights, baby, we're geeking for all. Marvel, DC, Trek, and more.
Fire.
Pop culture battles, settle the score. Nerd fights, let's get loud. Nerd fights, yeah, for the geeky crowd. Nerd fights, hey, it's time to throw down. Bring your fandom, it's the hottest showdown. Who's got the takes? Who's got the heat? Mr. Know-It-All and Salty can't be beat.
That means only one thing. It's time to fight.
Beat drops out with a final shot.
Nerd Fights.
Let's fight!
And hey guys, so Mr. Know-It-All still hasn't updated that part of the credits to put you in there, but
Well, I heard my name in the beginning of the song, so that was kind of cool. Still only says you created the show, but that's fine. That's an easy fix too. That's just text. But
you have to.
where is or Mr. Know-It-All? Sorry.
Mr. Know-It-All is I'm not 100% sure. We'll just have to punch him in the face.
No, well, I mean, last time I talked to him, I reached out to him, and shit, I should probably reach out to you. I need an invite code for Sora, so I reached out to him for one, for something I'm working on at work. Mm-hmm. And, he said he'd get back to me, and then, a few days went by, and I just kind of touched base with him, and he was super busy with stuff with work. I guess he's up for a promotion. Hopefully he got it.
And in all fairness, he has been swamped with work.
Yeah, so he hasn't really gotten back to me. I mean, heck, I texted him, hey, you guys doing a show? This was last week. And I don't even think he ever replied, to be honest with you.
Right.
So,
so this is, we have not had a show in 3 weeks. So that's why we're talking about, some of the movies we are. So speaking of which, so let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you're not as old as me, but you remember the year 1987.
Quite well, actually. Yes, I was 8 years old, but I do remember it. Yeah.
1987 was kind of the end of an era, I think, in Hollywood. The schlocky, over-the-top action film was in its waning period.
Really?
Yeah, because you get into the 90s, and action films were still, don't get me wrong, there are some great action films in the 90s.
Yeah, well, you said 87 was kind of, a lot.
You're talking about it's going down at this point. Like, I think peak action 80s was probably like 82 to 80.
Well, no, 87 is a great year. I mean, Predator came out that year, which ties into one of the movies we're going to be talking about. RoboCop came out in 87,
We finished up, because here's the thing about 1987, the magic happened, and you were kind of hinting on it.
Yeah.
Is that they had this moment where lightning in a bottle kind of thing, where you take Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Shit, I want to say Princess Bride came out that year. Sorry.
Let me finish.
Yeah, sorry.
I had a whole thing, and
haven't you missed me? Haven't you? Oh, I see. That's somebody said Danny's louder. I'm turning it down. Let me know if it sounds better. Thank you.
Yeah, we're kind of playing around with the settings. Sorry, guys. But what I was going to say is, so in 1987, we had this magical moment where they took Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was like the king of the action movie at the time, and they bring in to work with him Jesse Ventura, right?
I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, and so you get these two guys together, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so good that they do it twice that year, because they make Predator and then they make Running Man together. So now, fast forward.
Whoa! Did Running Man come?
Did.
It came out in 87?
Summer of 87.
No way. There's no way.
And so then we have back-to-back releases this year of movies that are direct results of those films.
That can't. I gotta Google this.
Yeah,
it came out in '87. Hold
It
up.
absolutely did.
Hold up. So
Now Street Preacher saying I'm loud, so turn yourself back up.
Okay, sorry. All right. There you go. I've turned it up a little. Hopefully, we'll be even.
He's probably gonna say, "Now you're loud, Danny."
Yeah, and which is fine. I can turn it down one to be like if turning it down one doesn't make it perfect, we're just fresh the fuck out of luck. Sorry. What's the movie? You ran me off. What's the movie? Running Man. Running Man. 87. Holy shit, dude. Wow. That's crazy. Wow. I didn't even realize that. So Schwarzenegger
and Ventura made 2 movies together that year that both became movies back-to-back weeks this year. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool. I will say, before we get into things, I honestly did not, and I feel bad, and this is why I gotta just not watch reviews. Right. I was gonna go see The Running. I was playing. Now that in fact, this reminds me to put my phone on silent. Give me 1 second here. There's something that I do want to share with. I don't know how many people are here from the old days and know me and are like, what's up with this guy? He's not the entertaining over the top shit show I'm used to. Right. I'm 180 days sober as of today. Which is so cool, man.
Yeah, in 3 days, and tomorrow at 181 days will be the longest I've ever gone without drinking since I turned 21. And in 3 days, I get my 6-month chip.
Oh, awesome.
So, and I've got a job. I've been working at this place for like 4 months. So point is, I might be a little different than you guys remember. So just a little disclaimer there. But I was watching some review. I was at I'm doing very well at work. I'm at a casino because I live in Vegas, and if you want to go to a movie, the movie theaters are at casinos, and bowling alleys are at casinos. Just as the way it is out here in Vegas. So
Damn, that is just wrong.
What do you say?
How many shots do you get for your 6 months?
B12 shots, testosterone shots. I do four of each a month. Anyway, I was at the casino. I was playing. I actually went to play poker though, and I was playing poker, and I did. Because I want to treat myself. Because I hadn't gone and I hadn't played poker in like 3 months, and it's
sure.
You think what you will about gambling. I enjoy it. My logic is if I spend anywhere from $40 to $100, and I can spend at least the same amount of time, if not more, playing poker as I would at the movies, I'm paying for a good time. I enjoy playing poker. If I win, bonus. If I lose, I don't feel like I really lost. Because, Jesus, man, last night we dropped $100 to go see Wicked in IMAX. I couldn't freaking believe it. And we'll get into that when we talk about that movie. But they were playing the run. It happened to be the Thursday Running Man came out, right? Like, because they do the Thursday, at least out here in Vegas, you can see a movie that doesn't come out till Friday as early as 11 a.m. on Thursday, right? Sure. And so I got out of playing poker. I was actually up, so I was stoked. I was like, well, shit, I'm going to treat myself, see a movie. And so I go to eat in the food court, and while I'm eating, I check out Jeffrey Johns. He's one of the reviewers I like.
You mean Jeremy Johns?
Jeremy Johns. And then Dan, what's his name? The Dan guy. He's another big one.
The Dan guy, yeah.
I forget it. It's Dan something. I forget his name. Anyway, but I've been watching these two guys for years, like literally years. And hell, I might have been watching Jeremy for like 10 years, honestly, at this point. And they both didn't like it. And I was like, well, damn. And the types of criticisms they were given, I was like, damn, I guess I'll pass. And I literally watched Predator again because it was that good. When you told me, or asked me rather, if I could do the show, and it so happens I'm off work today, and I said yes, you told me what we'd be talking about. So I rushed and squeezed in Running Man today. And I fucking loved it. So I'm never listening to reviewers again. When we get into it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so. I'll say this, and this is something me and Mr. Know-It-All have been talking about a little bit in the last month or two. is that this whole tendency of online reviewers in particular to jump on the hate train for stuff.
Oh, don't get me started on that, bro. You don't want to get me started on that. I was actually talking to my girl who's asleep on the couch behind me, but you can't see her because of the green screen effect. That I kind of want to do a video just about that.
Right.
Just kind of like an editorial, but instead of written, which I might also write and send out, because it's a problem. It's a real problem. People, it's almost as bad as Fox News. People on YouTube are hating on things for the sake of hating on things. Because I was having a conversation the other day about, I told somebody about my channel, and they went and watched a lot of the stuff. A lot of it was with you, and a lot of it was embarrassing, but I got to live it down because they know me. And but they're like, you seem to only talk about stuff you don't. And then when you don't like something, you throw a huge fit and you storm off and you never finish the show. And I was like, well, you got one, I was a drunk back then, so take that into consideration. But two, if I don't like something, I'm not the kind of person who's going to keep watching it. You ask my girl. My girl tries to get me to watch stuff that she's into, and I will give it a chance. And then if I don't like it, I'll say, look, normally I would just stop watching this show right now, sweetheart. So since you know that, and I can give you a very recent example of this, I will continue to watch the show for you because I know there has to be shit I make you watch you don't want to watch. I just want you to know that normally I would not do this. And if I go through this and don't like it, she was asking me if I was going to write about it, I think, and then but basically I said, I'm not going to waste my time bitching about it because I don't have enough time left on Earth. Even though probably we get a lot of views and be better content or whatever. And there are channels, and I don't want to name them because I've pissed off enough people back in my drinking days. That's their business model. They seem to only hate on things. And when well,
it depends because the main thing is to hate on if it's produced by Disney in any way. That's an automatic hate.
Which this movie was, but it was really good, man. Right. I've seen this movie 3 times and I love it.
The funny thing is, okay, we'll talk about Predator first since that was the first one of the batch to come out.
Yeah.
But Predator has really been on an uptick lately, because if you look at you have Prey came out a couple of years ago,
which I also loved.
Right, and then you have Killer of Killers that came out earlier this year. And now Badlands. I
still haven't seen Killer of Killers, and I really want to because
you need to see it.
Yeah.
Killer of Killers was it's a you probably know this. It's animated. And the way that it's broken down, it's basically 4 different chapters. The first 3 each follows. It's like a mini Predator movie. And so, except they're at different points in history. Like one is a female Viking versus a predator. One is a samurai in ancient Japan versus a predator, and one is a World War II pilot versus a predator, right? And so, and each
don't. I've been actively avoiding stuff because I do want to watch it.
Without getting too, but the 4th part brings it all together.
Okay.
And so you kind of see what the point of the first 3 was. Mm-hmm. And it's a very different way of telling a story through the Predator franchise, but I really enjoyed it. Now, Badlands takes that a step further in being the first Predator project that's directly done from the point of view of the Predator.
Yeah. Oh, God, I can't wait to talk about it.
And that's also why many of the people hated it. Because they were like, what happened to the Predator being...
Okay, the people that hated it, did they ever pick up a Dark Horse comic? Like, just one? I mean, the whole fucking comic book line is from the Predator's point of view, man.
Well, Critical Drinker, for example, was pissed off because if you look at the Predator, the original Predator film... Okay,
I told you I didn't want to name names. He's one of the ones I've stopped watching. Because him and Dave Cullen, they don't say a good thing at all. It's why I stopped watching Doomcock back when I did stuff with you. Because before you and I started doing stuff, I used to watch that guy, and he just I don't have enough time in my life for the negativity. And I got enough darkness in my soul that I'm personally trying to work on, vis-a-vis my addiction battle I've been going through. And, I don't need that shit. I don't need the negative energy in my life.
And what I say, no, I think it's a fair point to if you're drawing a compare and contrast in the franchise, to say that the Predator in the original film, as well as Predator 2 and most of the
That dumpster fire.
I hated Predator 2, but the Predator himself, that character, if you want to call it a character, it's really more of a monster. But the Predator is a diehard. I'm going to kill, and
you violated our contractual obligation. I'm going to have to leave now. I'm sorry.
What's that?
Oh, we're not streaming on my channel, and there's no point in being here if I can.
I don't know if it's even set up right now.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, dude. It's been great. I love you. Bye.
Yeah, great. We're screwed.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, I knew you were kidding because your picture was still there. You just turned off your camera. Because I could still see the green screen effect of the Badlands.
You bastard. Stupid. Stupid. Oh well. Anyway.
But yeah, so what I was to say though is the Predator himself is like this, super scary monster that wants to do nothing but kill people. That's all he's interested in. And you don't really get to know anything about the Predator other than it's a hunter and it hunts people.
Okay, look, let's refer to Predator 2. I don't like the movie, but, these people who have only seen the movies and want to complain about something like that, I can point to Predator 2. Now, what happens at the very, very end of Predator 2?
Well, when they give Danny Glover the gun?
Yeah, no, if they were just these mindless killers and all they did was killing and there was nothing interesting to learn about them and their culture and how Klingon-like they are in a lot of ways, which I'd like to get into later, they do have some kind of code of honor. They do have rules. They have society. They hinted at that. Now, in the first movie, we have no hint of that whatsoever. Right. But, none. Okay, so that's introduced in the the early 90s.
Your mom wants to know if you're drinking a diet drink.
I am drinking Pepsi Zero, actually, and they are still not a sponsor. And same soda I was drinking that I would mix with my bourbon. But to put my mom's mind at ease and everyone else's, I'm in the DART program, which stands for Drug and Alcohol Random Testing. And I, in fact, just 2 days ago had to pee in a cup. Funny story, there's a dude who gets paid. His job for a living is to watch people like me take their pants down to their knees, roll their shirts up to their chests, and watch urine come out of another man's penis. That's how he gets paid. That's how he makes his living.
Sign me up, man.
I just want you to marinate on that for a little bit. If I get popped doing anything, including alcohol, that I'm not legally allowed to do, like prescriptions. I thought I had a bottle around here somewhere, but basically my daily prescriptions.
Prescription alcohol.
No, there's not such a thing. Now I did find something. You know how beer drinkers have NA beers? You know what I mean?
Like near beer?
Yeah, like O'Doul's or whatever, So I did find, and if she can hear me, she's sleeping, but somehow she hears in her sleep. I haven't even told her about this yet. So I did find, because here's the thing, I don't really miss getting drunk.
Right.
At this point in my because of how much better my life is. Is the job, the girl, everything is exponentially better. I do miss the taste because I love bourbon, right? So I found this stuff called Free Spirits Bourbon. It's a non-alcoholic whiskey alternative, and it's online. I'm highly considering ordering it to give it a try. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Because what happened was I was talking to a friend about how I wish they would make it because it's not fair. Beer drinkers have this. And,
I like Scotch.
Yeah.
And but the thing is that I can't imagine a non-alcoholic Scotch because It's I could see how you could duplicate some of the flavor, but
but the
drinking
burn,
hard alcohol has a feeling to it.
the
Yeah.
feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so basically in Star Trek they call it synthahol. I haven't ordered it yet. I'm kind of considering ordering the synthahol, but that's what I was thinking. I bet you it doesn't have the burn. They might replicate the taste, but not the feeling.
Here's the problem I see with that. And just kind of spitball. I know we're totally off track.
Totally off track, but we'll circle back.
Yeah. But my only problem with that is that what you're doing with that is prolonging your enjoyment of something that you should abstain from. And if you continue to drink something that reminds you of it, then you might one day say, you know what, this stuff just isn't that good, and I really would like to get some of the real thing.
Well, I get, 100. Cause you're not the only person to make that observation. So I haven't talked to my girl about it yet. Because if she says that, then it's probably game over. Don't even order it. I will go to jail for 6 months minimum, no questions asked. If I get caught,
you're under a court order not to drink.
With a drop of alcohol until November 13th, 2026. So, if I want to drink some fake booze, man, let me, please. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that was my thought process, because I'm not going to be like, when I get my chips, you know how, I don't know if you've ever been to AA, but they always ask you when you get a chip, they make you share, like one of the first people to share. So they say, how'd you do it? How'd you like last month, it's like, got my 5 months. Hey, Daddy, you made it 5 months. How'd you do it? And I'm just brutally honest. The fear of jail, it works wonders. It doesn't even cross my mind to order a drink. I don't even think, man, I wish I could have a drink. I just,
But here's the problem, and your mom kind of hints at it, but I don't think she quite gets it. Is she said before you drink that so-called fake bourbon, you have it tested. It's more than that, because like things like O'Doul's and stuff, near beer, it is just beer. It's just beer that has such a low alcoholic content.
That's the thing that they told me. That's the other. I'm not ordered it yet because I still can't get definitive research on if it has it. So if I were to drink a non-alcoholic beer and have a piss test the next day, I would fail and go to jail.
Right. That's what's my concern. Is that is this fake whiskey really just really weak whiskey? And if it is, you need to stay away from it.
Exactly. So that's another reason I haven't ordered it yet, because I can't get a definitive answer. I've actually filled out their contact us page and haven't got a response yet. So I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to Predator. Sorry about that.
And if one of our better listeners or someone who can rewind, if you remember where we took that fork in the road and want us to pick right back up, please feel free.
I know where we were. So we were talking about like, some of the criticisms are that the Predator is no longer an alpha male, and which is what I was getting to.
Oh, yeah. I was going off on my... Yeah, okay, Go ahead. Yeah.
And so instead, we actually have a Predator who is literally described as the runt, and and his dad is the epitome of toxic masculinity.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. And so people see this as basically a movie that's trying to make the Predator woke. And the thing is, it's like, first of all, relax with the woke crap. You don't even know what the word means anyway. But even if you did know what the word means, this is just trying to tell an interesting story.
There is nothing woke about this movie,
right?
Badlands. But nothing woke about it.
Because this beta male soy boy Predator, or whatever you want to call him, manages to kill the monster that. He actually chooses not to kill the monster because he's a bigger man than his dad.
Yeah.
And then he goes back and kills his dad. So
man, you know how awesome that was for, I can't wait till my old man dies so I can piss on his grave. So to watch that was very satisfying,
That's kind of messed up, dude.
Well, it's true. And I don't care. Somebody clip that out and send it to my father, please. His email address is Ballard.
No. Don't be saying his email address.
Okay.
No, but I actually, the thing is that if this Predator was just another alpha male Predator, this would have been a very boring movie.
Yeah. Come on, man.
We could already tell you everything that was going to happen.
We have origin, we have backstory, we have world building, we have character development, we have action. The fuck, man! This is a really good movie. You know what I mean?
Way, another thing about this movie, this is what we should have gotten before Alien versus Predator. Because remember, this movie actually does.
They've said that they're ignoring those movies as far as canon goes.
I get that, but look at the, because the Weyland-Yutani company, that's the core of the Alien franchise.
Hey, how do I do that thing where you put it's been so long. I want to put a comment up. Can I do that? How do I do that?
I don't know if you can just click on it on the side. If it will it go
I'm clicking on it. Okay. Street Preacher, the one that starts with my mom's name toward the bottom. Highlight that for me.
Oh, yeah.
Street Preacher, she'll probably dance with me. So there you go. All right, continue. Sorry.
Well, and she'll provide the cocaine.
Yeah, right. The booger sugar.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Moneypenny is a huge coke fiend.
Right.
So, I know we don't talk about it that much on the show, but yes. If you want to make a donation of cocaine, you want to send it to Penny. So, and she will put it to good use. But anyway, so I found it, the amazing thing to me is, of course, the Predator, there's very little English spoken in this movie. And in fact, in some ways, this reminds me of Sisu.
I like that. I didn't want to see the Predator talking English. This was a very good decision on Trachtenberg's part. Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And so the Predator doesn't speak English in the movie and has very few lines of dialogue. But at the same time, he has a very well fleshed out character, and that's a hard thing to do. And then on top of that, like if you have someone who's a very good expressive actor, you can show a lot of emotion. Here you have a combination of prosthetics and CG to try and make an emotional character out of a non-human face, and they do it.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up. I wish MJ was awake to back me up on this. So when I was trying to talk her into seeing the movie before I saw it, I pulled up a clip because, they put out all these clips. And I was also like downloading them to clip them out to put in the video that one day I'll finish making. Mm-hmm. And there's the scene where he's like, his father's got him like down, and his brother's, about to cut his head off. And the face, I re-showed her. I was like, look at that dude's face. I don't know what's real and what's not, but you could see in his eyes. Like, it was such a good, the acting going on there. And the effed up thing is, I don't know if it was real or digital, but the eyes, man, especially with the eyes in that one scene was so good.
There's a few movies that have done this now. Badlands is one of them. The Fantastic Four.
Oh, mom, get off your high horse. One cocaine. You made those booger sugar jokes when I was in high school. Give me a break.
She's trying to play it off like she's not. Really
yeah. Come on. Yeah,
we know that you look at Scarface as an educational film. Fantastic Four is another one with how they did The Thing. Is that they have this combination that some movies are doing now where they'll have practical effects and digital mixed together. So like there's a shot of The Thing in Fantastic Four where he sits down and pets a dog. And the reason and most people don't think about it because it's not one of those things you're just consciously thinking of when you're watching the movie. But the reason the shot works so well is because that was a real hand in a latex prosthetic Thing suit. It was the actor in a Thing suit doing it, but then they did CG magic on the face so that he was more expressive. And to do that, and they do the same thing here with the Predator. Is that a lot of the finer movements that we see of the mandibles and stuff is done through CG, but there is an actor there playing the Predator. I think that makes it easier for all the actors involved to be able to react to the situation better. And I think that blending the practical and CG is really what makes truly great CG.
I would agree, but the reason in this in that scene in particular I was talking about that I couldn't tell is because I also watch a lot of the they're behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They put out a really good behind the scenes video that I was also snagging clips from to use in my video. And there's one part where they show the guy playing Deck. Is it Deck? It's Deck, right?
Yeah, DEK.
The guy playing Deck is in full gear, practical, right, except this, like his whole face. Right. But then I saw in another one where he's got a full prosthetic face too, but this part missing. So they did, I guess, for different shots, they did it in different ways. And I would really love to know if those eyes, because I kept pointing out the eyes to her.
Most of the time, those were his eyes.
And then that dude's a good actor, like face act. I don't know if he can talk, but he's because he was doing a lot with a little with his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that blend is what really sells it, because you're talking about a non-human character. So some people think, oh well, like another thing that the certain person from Scotland that likes to drink a lot was saying is how the Predator looked better in 1987. I'm sorry, I got to call total BS on that, because yes, if you look at a still image of the two of them next to each other, you might aesthetically prefer the one from 1987.
Can
but
we
the
show?
minute you see them moving around,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no contact.
Can we show clips on this show, like short
Brief
clips?
ones.
I'm telling you, man, if you can find it, or if you want me to, the clip, if we just
Yeah,
show
but
people
why-
that one little clip I'm talking about, just where he's screaming at his brother, his fangs come out, and then the look on his eyes of like, he's basically saying with his like the fear, the confusion, like, is my brother really going to kill? Like, you can see it all right there. You know what I mean? And it's way better than the first Predator. That guy couldn't emote. He couldn't do stuff with his face.
Right, 'cause the suit wasn't designed for it.
Yeah,
It was just a monster suit.
Yeah. So yeah, I call BS on that
I'm looking for it right
criticism.
now, 'cause I'm on. There's a documentary on the making of here. It's got a few clips, but I don't see. Let's see what they.
Hell, it might be in my history.
Let's see. That's just showing them. Okay, yeah, I just saw.
I just found it. It's called Predator Badlands Be Brave Brother official clip. It's on the 20th Century Studios official YouTube page.
Okay, wait. I found something that I think you'll. Okay, so we just share screen.
Yeah, I don't know if I can share.
No, I'm doing it. I'm just
Okay.
Add to scene. Bada beep boop. All right, so right there you can see his face.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the behind it. Yeah, that's that's the thing I was talking about. Yeah.
And you also notice, like, look at in his hand, you have the practical effect sword that they then cover with the CG model.
Right.
But because of that, it has that red glow that you and
they do the same thing now in Star Wars. So
like Obi-Wan Kenobi did that, and other recent Star Wars projects.
Because it's easier to get the reflection on the surrounding things like the leaves and shit when there's a real source of light coming from something.
Yeah, and by the way, Renegade, you're 100% right. Is that a lot of people say, "Oh, crappy CG" when it's not CG.
Yeah, right.
It's hilarious.
It is. Yeah.
Because a lot of people they don't even take they just assume it's CG because that's the easier way to do stuff. But it doesn't mean that everything is CG. And this is a perfect example where, yeah, that is not at all what Deck looks like in the film. But they put the actor there, they dress him that way and everything so that they make sure that when they do the CG over him, the lighting and everything is perfect. Because they have, that's why, that whole thing he's wearing around his face is the same color as Deck's skin.
Yeah. It's basically the whole mask without the front. You know what I mean?
So that way, when they do add the Deck face to there, the coloration and the lighting will all be dead on.
So I don't know if you want me to or not, but this is.
You add something here. It better not be something that gets me in trouble, or I'll shoot.
Well, I won't play the sound, but hold up. I might have to pause it a little bit, but it's the facial expression about to come up.
Oh, when he's weird.
Okay, hold up. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Maybe I should pause it. I just don't want it to get.
No,
Oh, right here. Hold up. So this part. Look at his eyes.
Yeah,
Did you
it looks
see?
like he's gonna cry.
Yeah, it was so good. Okay, you can stop that now. Sorry, but it was just. I was very impressed. You know.
Well, yeah, and that whole movie. That's the thing about the character of Deck felt like a character.
Oh, hey, you moved. How you doing over there? Oh,
I'm doing all right. How you doing? Yeah, the character of Deck felt like a real person, and as opposed to just a scary monster that's trying to kill things, and that's what really sold this movie. I loved all the Weyland Yutani lore that we got. I think it builds off of Alien Earth,
Which I haven't seen Alien Earth. Is it?
dude.
Should I? It sounds like I should watch it. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
here's and this is why I say like this movie feels almost like a sequel to Alien Earth because Alien Earth is not about xenomorphs killing people. Alien Earth is about the development of these of synths.
Okay.
Like the girl that we see in this.
Yes, Thea.
So if you watch Alien Earth, it focuses a lot on what's going on with human society and the development of synthetics.
This girl right here, Thea. Yeah.
And of course her sister.
Tessa. Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, I thought Badlands it's probably it's up there. It's like at least in my top 3 Predator films.
It's easily in my top 3. I keep switching. I keep switching 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So it's Predator, and it's either this or Prey that keeps switching places for me.
As far like I can easily tell you my top 4. Like my top 4 in no particular order. I'll do in release date order would be Predator, Predators, Prey, and Badlands.
100% agree with you. Actually, that's rare. Yeah, 100% agree with you.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as The Predator and Predator 2, absolute garbage.
Yeah, if you look at my, my reviews on Criticless, I gave The Predator a horrifically low score because it deserved it. That movie was so bad, and it's a shame because I really like Olivia Munn. Because men of a certain age, watched her on G4 TV quite a bit.
I know you just like Olivia Munn because you think she's hot. It has nothing to do with her acting ability.
Yeah, I actually gave it a higher score than I feel like it deserves. I gave it a 50, a 5 out of 10. I gave it a high.
I mean, autism is a superpower, and Olivia Munn is.
I should probably revisit it because I have an autistic kid, and when that movie came, I wrote the review way back when that movie came out. It probably will hit different now because my autistic son grew up to be a complete asshole. So there's that,
And
Dad of the Year.
I heard it
right
actually
there.
would have probably been rated R if they weren't just killing robots and monsters.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They were genius. Big part of my review, available now on criticless.com. They are genius about it, man, because there's some brutal kills. Like that would be,
dude, at one point, the monster, Deck, the main character, jumps at the monster with his sword, riding his sword down the monster's neck, severing its head.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Yeah, if it weren't creatures and synths because a lot of synths get killed, like heads getting blown and they show like if it were, oh my God, if it were like this terrible TV show my girl had me watch, baby, what was that awful show you just made me watch? You awake over there? She's still asleep. Fallout based on a video game.
Yeah, you didn't like Fallout?
Fuck no, dude! It was unnecessarily gory. Okay. That story, that TV show would have told the same story and been just as effective without the gratuitous gore. Right. That bothers me. And I know that seems weird coming from me, but I don't need to see that kind of. There are times, and my girl's so good, where she would warn me, "Baby, don't look at the screen." Like when something was about to come, because she knows I don't like to see realistic stuff. I don't mind zombies and vampires and werewolves and alien. Like I don't know. I'm wired differently, I guess. She'll watch serial killer stuff, real life stuff, like Saw shit like
So
that.
You're married to a sociopath.
I might be. Shh, she's right behind me.
So if Danny just stops showing up, you'll know that this time it's not the drinking that got it. So I think we're both in agreement that Badlands, an excellent movie, adds a lot to the Predator franchise.
Oh God, does it? And
And I can't wait for the next one.
I can't either, especially if all the stuff I'm reading is
well. This didn't do that well.
Are you kidding me? Didn't do that well? It's doing great.
I thought it didn't. I thought maybe I'm
no.
confused.
Look at
I'm confusing it in Running Man. Maybe.
Yeah. Badlands overperformed.
Okay.
And it's holding better than most movies in its genre.
It's up to 140 million worldwide.
It's been out 3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see. I don't know what the budget is. Yeah, but it's such a different world than it was.
I want to say the budget was around 100 million. I mean, we can look this stuff up. We're not Valiant Renegade or whatever, but
the projected, because remember, we don't really know
right, yeah.
But the projected budget is around 105.
Okay, 100. I was close. 100, 105. Okay.
Now,
yeah.
So that means that if it's made 140 and 105 budget, it's not made
in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks.
But that's the problem, is that it's going up against Wicked. Wicked is going to dominate for the movie.
Fuck, wait, no, this movie, I think once the word of mouth gets... So they have, when we get to... Are we transitioning now to Wicked?
Not yet, because we still got to do Running Man, which came out last week.
Oh, you want to do Running Man first? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, release order. Yeah.
So Running Man is...
Whoa. Let's give our final...
Final thoughts on Predator Badlands. I haven't reviewed it on Criticless yet, I don't think. So what's your score on it?
I gave it 85%, so 8.5 out of 10. I found it very, very enjoyable. I think if you have boys who are... I would go, depending on how... I would go as young as 11 to 13,
I'd say that's for as long as, if they can handle the gore.
Depending on your boy, that's why boys for sure.
So
yeah. I mean, shit, Devin could have handled this at 8, to be honest with you. He was watching Ninja Turtles and shit basically it's a cartoon. It's an action cartoon that just happens to be live action. There's not a drop of red blood in the whole thing. There's no cussing. There's no useless cussing.
I think there's one or two curse words, but it's nothing hard.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, I think the Transformers movie had the word shit in it, and that was a cartoon that came out in 1986 or whatever. So, but yeah, I gave it 8.5 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed it. What about you? What would you say?
I'd say I haven't officially scored it yet, but I would say probably about the same. I think that it was an excellent film. Is it a tour de force that to write home about? No, but it's a darn good action adventure film, and people that get
good sci-fi film too. Good sci-fi action.
Well, and that's the thing. People get pissed off because it's not the same as the first one. But if it was the same as the first one, you could just watch the first one.
Just watch the first, and you know what? Watch the first one. Why not? Yeah. It's good.
I still watch the first one every now and then.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger is less annoying than usual in that one, because since it was towards the latter part of his career, he could articulate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dylan, you son of a bitch. But it was still. It was dual. And Schwarzenegger was playing in his wheelhouse. He was playing a badass commando. That's his thing. But this one...
Dylan!
All right. What was it? They weren't missing. They were skinned alive. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it now.
You
gotta love Schwarzenegger.
That'd be a great thing to do a montage of people saying "do it,"
right?
Do it, and then go to the emperor.
Do it now. And speaking of Schwarzenegger, Let's talk about
Other
the new.
1987 Schwarzenegger Jesse Ventura film.
Yeah.
To get a 2025 treatment. Although this one,
Both, and it's so funny. Both. It's not just Schwarzenegger and Ventura.
yes. But the this one is interesting because unlike this is not a sequel to the old movie. This is a reinterpretation of the book from which the original movie was based. And so, Darren Wagner had to go off on me because I called it a remake, and he was like, "How dare you call it a remake?" When
First of all, Darren Wagner can suck it. I'm very much looking forward to having this conversation in particular. No, not about Darren. About how they're trying to say, "Oh no, this is not a remake. It's just another reinterpretation of the book," and I'm going to call bullshit on that, and I'll tell you why, and I have a lot of very good points.
Because it's this, yes, you're right. It's not based on the screenplay of the last movie. It's based on the same source material, but it's not like they changed everything.
There are music cues.
Yeah.
That are from the first movie. There are costume concepts from the first movie, and unless they were very specific in the book, which maybe they were, I have not read the book. There were certain beats in the movie that came straight from Arnold's movie. You know what I mean? Like the tubes at the when they now, unless that's just.
I would assume the tubes were in the book.
It has to be in the book because it's in both movies. We never see was Amber made up for the Schwarzenegger flick because she's not even. I didn't see her in this movie. Obviously,
which character?
Amber, the one that the exec that tried to turn him in, but ended up being his love interest, Schwarzenegger's in the first movie.
Oh, well, that's kind of loosely the chick that he meets in the car in the third act in this.
The fuck out of here, really? So I'd be curious to see. I might now, after we do this, I'll go ahead for posterity, put up a review on Criticless, and then I'll watch some stuff. I want to watch one of those Screen Crush or whatever, videos where they compare it, because I'm never going to read the book. So I would like to know, though, the differences. But it really very much, if you're like me, a plebeian like me in his 40s or older, pushing 50, and you have seen The Running Man with Schwarzenegger way more times than you should have as a red-blooded American male, you can't help but think, well, this is just a remake. You know what I mean? Because it very much feels, and there are certain beats, and I do want to talk about those, because I just literally finished watching this movie right before getting onto this show. So, it's fresh in my mind. I actually, somewhere around here, even scribbled down a couple of notes to make sure I talk about them. But anyway.
But, now...
Right here, I found them.
So you want to, okay, so, and by the way, I know that a lot of people will diss on people like Screen Crush and stuff because they are shill channels for the most part. They very rarely say anything negative. However...
Oh, that's like me. Maybe they just don't waste their time on shit they don't like. You know what I mean?
But and I'm going to say something nice about them here. I do like their little Easter egg videos and stuff.
Oh yeah, New Rockstars does good Easter egg videos too.
And part of the reason, there's something in the Fantastic Four. I'm going to show it to you right now that I had no idea was there. And I thought it was so badass that they did this. It's like one of the coolest things in film, in my opinion. Because it's a redemption arc that is beyond redemption arcs here. All right, you remember this part? This is right at the beginning of the movie where they're doing the montage of everybody saying, "Thank you, Fantastic Four."
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, if you look directly above our half...
Oh, you're talking about the original cast from the never-released...
Yeah, that's the cast of the Harvey Korman Fantastic Four movie saying thank you to the Fantastic Four. And if you look at them, you can see it. Especially the girl. That is an old suit.
Yeah.
And your mom's going to go see Road to Revenge tomorrow. You will enjoy it, but bring some cocaine.
God.
But I love not only are they in this shot here, but they all appear scattered throughout the film. as little sidebar characters. So, like, you remember at the when the Thing goes to Yancey Street to get the cookies, and the guy's like, "Hey, what time is it?" I
Yeah.
think if I remember correctly, that's the Thing from the Harvey Korman movie.
I think you're right. No, I do. I watched the. I think the same video you're talking about. Yeah, I do remember that.
And
Those
then, like,
guys are
when
good
Human
at that
Torch
shit, man.
Yeah, when Human Torch is putting out the fire, the guy that played the Human Torch is there. You know, they do a lot of stuff like that. And the newscaster is the lady that plays Sue. And so they do a lot of stuff in the movie to basically just get these four people some screen time. Who were and a lot of people don't realize this. They were so screwed over when they made the Harvey Korman movie because they thought they were making a genuine movie. The producers, the director, everybody else knew that this movie was just going in a trash can. They didn't know that.
Wow, I don't know the whole story behind this. Why make a movie that you're gonna just
because they were contractually obligated to produce a film in order to retain the rights to the Fantastic Four. And by the way, this was not 20th Century Fox that made this movie. It was a little independent company, and that little independent company was trying to get sold to 20th Century Fox. And one of the big things that 20th Century Fox was interested in was that they had the rights to the Fantastic Four. So they had to maintain those rights by producing a film. And so they produced this crappy film just to throw in the trash can. And these four actors put their heart and soul. I'm not saying they're great actors, right? But they put their heart and soul into this movie thinking that this was their big break.
God, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That's shitty. I did not know that.
And I said, yeah, you're right. It was Roger Corman, not Harvey Korman. I don't know why I said Harvey Korman. I was thinking of somebody else. But thank you, Robert. No, and Stan. So the Josh Trank one, that I felt I do kind of feel for Josh Trank in this. Josh Trank, if you haven't seen Chronicle, that is a great movie. That was Josh Trank's first feature film. And it is a found footage superhero movie that is just ridiculously good. However, and so then Fox got the idea of, hey, let's get that guy to make Fantastic Four. But the problem is, Josh Trank was just some little indie director who made one movie that had like a $2 million budget. And then you're going to hand him $100 million film. He didn't know what to do with that, and he fell apart. And then the studio came in and they were like, "Oh, you're making it way too dark. We're going to fix it." And then, of course, the movie just ended up this incredible mess.
So, I'm just curious. I mean, out of 6 votes, 33% of people did not miss me. So that's like.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Two people took the time to downvote that. That's fun. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm too busy. This was a guest appearance. Whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know who would have voted against you. But.
Yeah, it's all good. So we're going to take this moment for me to do my drink refill and hear a little bit of words from this week's sponsor. Stick around.
This week's sponsor. I think Danny is confused. He thinks that we're a show that has sponsors. And so ABJ is saying, what are we fighting about today? Well, we just finished talking about Predator. We had a little sidebar on Fantastic Four, and we're about to get into the Running Man a little bit and finish up with some talk about the Wicked for Good. So rest assured, while Danny and I agreed, like best friends in the whole world on Predator, and we agreed, we will probably agree on Running Man for the most part. I think when we get to Wicked, one of us is going to probably have an aneurysm or a heart attack or something. So yeah. But let's see. Maybe they're new and just don't know. Yeah, see, that's a fair point. Maybe they're, yeah, it could be like, and when Danny gets back, you have to I'll try to remember to point this out, is that it could be two people that have never seen him. So that is entirely possible.
So
did you hear that?
I didn't hear. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
I didn't hear
Stanley was
anything.
suggesting that the two people that voted down on you could have been people that joined after you left.
Oh,
So
that
they
could
didn't-
be
Yeah, so
totally.
they didn't know you. So how can they miss?
Yeah. So you don't run ads anymore? Like back when I was here, we used to do little spots.
If I had one handy, I would have, but I didn't have one handy.
Oh, well, my bad. I just had to get a refill of a soda.
And Street Preacher, yes, Criticless has been around. He's been on Nerdrotic show. He's,
Well, he's got
trying to grow the website.
He's got a deal now with Geeks and Gamers. He sold his soul, so
Well, but it's still a good site.
it's where the money is. It is a great site, but you're going to find a lot of those negative Nancys on there. So we need our justice warriors.
Those
People.
Justice Warriors. Now you make it sound like we're a bunch of libbies.
Oh yeah, come up with a better term, but more positive Pete's to use their website. Yeah, there you go.
That's the problem. It's like anything you say nowadays has a political connotation because social justice warrior should be a positive thing to say,
Should be.
but it's not. So.
Yeah.
All right, so and ABJ says, haven't seen Running Man, but plan to. I don't go for monster movies or movies about good evil witches. Yeah, we'll get to the good evil witches in a little bit. And found out that two or more Frozen movies are being made. The next one to come out 2027. Get this: the two main voice actors were paid $60 million each, or $60 million for each sequel. That's stupid.
Well, good for them. I mean, those studios make so much money off those Frozen movies, like $1 billion or whatever. So.
Yeah, but come on, $60 million to sit in a booth and
Because it ain't just the movie, man. It's the merchandise that goes with it, the spin-offs, the Happy Meal deals, all the bull. I mean, they make so much money on that stuff. Why not give the actors a cut? I don't care, and I'm not going to hate on them.
Well, I'm not going to hate on them, but I think that's over. Because here's what I don't like about it. Okay, so they're paying these two actresses $60 million to just let it go. Oh, Renegade, I'm going to punch you for that one. But anyway, so they pay these actresses $60 million to sit in a booth and read some lines for a few hours. Now, I'm not blaming them for taking the $60 million. Don't get me wrong. If they offered me $60 million to voice something, I would do it. But you look at Sisu: Road to Revenge, which is a better movie than most movies that I've seen this year, cost $12 million to make. So they paid these actresses a magnitude of like 4 times the total budget of Sisu.
Okay, people aren't here to talk about that. They're here to hear about The Running Man, which is a 2025 movie from Edgar Wright, who wrote and directed this flick. It's the second adaptation of the 1982 Stephen King novel of the same name, which he wrote under a pseudonym that I don't recall at the moment. Yeah. Cast includes Glenn Powell, William H. Macy, Lee Pace, Michael Cera, Emilia Jones, Daniel Ezra, and of course Josh Brolin. So let's talk about The Running Man. What did you
Brolin
think?
Is the greatest a-hole I have seen on film in years.
And he probably shot all of his scenes for this movie in a day. Yeah, my God.
I cannot tell you how many times I wanted to throw something at the screen when Josh was on there.
Yeah.
He played it perfect. He was smarmy. He was evil. I mean, and that's why the spoiler warning's up there, so but like at the end of the movie, when you're talking about whether or not his wife and kid are dead, and you're sitting there trying to figure it out, because he makes a great point. If your wife and kid were still alive, they'd be sitting here with me right now because I'd be threatening to kill them.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh crap, he might be right about that.
Yeah, no. So I did buy into thinking they were dead.
Yeah.
Because of that part right there. But that's at the end. Let's get to the beginning, because I do want to talk about a lot of the similarities and a lot of the differences. And I wish we had a bookworm here who could help. What happened? Like, what in the book? Like, was this?
Yeah, I don't know what happened in the book.
Was this from the book, or was this just a change they made?
Okay, so
you know,
here's my understanding. Number one, Stephen King saw this movie and approved.
So did Schwarzenegger. Actually.
Right, but Stephen King did not like the 1987 version.
Correct.
And so so this one is truer to the book than 1987.
Yeah.
And so like in the 1987 version, Ben Richards was not married, and he was a military guy, if you remember. Who was
the Butcher of Bakersfield.
Right. The Butcher of Bakersfield storyline was completely made up.
Yes.
And instead, we have a guy who's basically down on his luck and trying to provide for his wife and his sick kid in a dystopian future where healthcare is extremely expensive. Oh, you mean like today?
Well, thank you. This is a perfect segue into something I want to bring up, because if this stuff was in the book, Stephen King traveled back in time from the future and tried to warn us all under the guise of a book so he wouldn't get caught, or he's Nostradamus, or somebody thought this was a blueprint. Because let me read you some of these beats real quick, right? Just and tell me this doesn't sound eerily like America 2025. Okay, so a network owns the news and the government, deciding what we see and don't see. AI changing video to fit those narratives. Reality TV being the primary source of entertainment and propaganda manipulation. Social media taking a large part in the participation of the Running Man. And you have a podcaster who's trying to help uncover all of the truth and is the only source of fair and balanced news. Did I just talk about America today or the plot of a fucking movie?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, man? I'm watching this movie and it's like a cautionary tale. Like there's one line in the movie where Ben Richards literally says to, I guess who you're saying is the Amber replacement, you literally have a human life hanging around your neck. When he's talking about her scarf, you know.
Yeah, because her scarf was worth more than the meds he needed for his daughter.
Yeah, and then a line from Josh Brolin that should send shivers down anybody with an average IQ and higher should fear, and that's, he said that his objective from the network used to be to shove a moral mission. To shove some type of moral message, down people's throats before realizing that people just want to be entertained. And come on, like, what are we doing now with all, like, Star Trek's been ruined by the people trying to show, like, I've been watching Boston Legal lately. I never watched it in its first run.
Great show.
And I fucking love it. I'm almost done. I'm running through it way too fast. I have like maybe
William
3 or 4 episodes. It is his best work ever. I can't believe it's taken me this long to watch it. However, that said, it is basically left-wing propaganda wrapped in an entertaining show. So they've always done this shit, folks. That show's over 20 years old, or roughly 20 years old. And I liked how he said that line. It's like, until we just realize people just want to be entertained. And we have the government, and in this case, the network, which owns the government, has made such a depraved society that what entertains people now is real life death and violence. It should be a shocking commentary on the state of the world. It should be a cautionary tale that I don't think we're too far off from a real life show like this, sadly. I really don't. And I did not think that in 1987 when I watched The Running Man, albeit I was 8 and I watched it many times before I was even old enough to drive. Never once did I think, oh man, the world could end up like this.
And let me get on my soapbox for just a second. because I want to answer this fairly to what Stan's talking about. So, did they have similar healthcare problems in the late '80s? The late '80s was a very different time for healthcare, and I know so, but just purely coincidental. In the late '80s, I worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon, and so I do have a little bit of insider information on this. So in the '80s, so it's kind of funny. Healthcare made a dramatic turn under President Reagan when Reagan signed into law. I can't remember the name of the act, but it made it so that a hospital, if you came into a hospital with any kind of life-threatening situation, including, by the way, being in labor if you're pregnant, any kind of life-threatening situation, the hospital must treat you before they can worry about billing.
Yep.
And so that basically established catastrophic universal health care with one stroke of the pen. A lot of people don't realize that. But it was a good thing because before that, hospitals would routinely turn people away if they didn't have insurance. Even if they were, like somebody chopped someone's arm off or they get shot in the face.
And that
they're dragging
opened.
them in the ER and they say,
And how long ago did that happen? That change happened. That happened
That was
40. Yeah, so 40 years ago, we opened the floodgates to a single payer healthcare system, and you wonder why people. I mean, we get a taste of it for 40 years. We need to just, not to get political, we just need to make Medicare for all. Medicaid for all. We need to do Medicaid for all. We need a single payer healthcare system, and that's the only thing that's going to fix it. And I am not some left-wing nut job. I'm a pragmatist and a realist, and I'm a registered libertarian. Voted for Trump the first time. Sorry, sue me.
I tried to talk you out of it.
I know. But I honestly feel that's the only way to solve that problem.
Okay, so just so you know, it's the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act, and it was signed into law April 7th, 1986.
Yeah, 86. So we're talking literally 40 years, coming up on 40 years.
Yeah, 39 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so but the thing about that, so now I want you to think now back to the late 80s, early 90s. What happened with healthcare? Now, the healthcare actually, I think.
Street preacher. I can't put his comment up. No, in fact, I'm all over the place, buddy. I think we should get rid of public transit, and we can talk about that another time. Yeah. So you can't figure me out from one of my stances, bud. You really can't. I also,
say, so yeah, because here's the problem. I'm an extremist, but I'm a non-ideological extremist, meaning that I don't care if it's left or right or whatever. I just want it done right. Yeah. And so I'm with you 100% on healthcare. I think the government needs to take over the healthcare system.
Yeah.
I also, by the way, think that
they need to do one or the other. So I guess to make people like Street Preacher understand what I'm saying is, if they had not opened those floodgates 40 years ago, I would not be saying this, right, because we would have 40 years of empirical data to see that the capitalist way works if we can just keep the fucking lobbyists out of Washington. That should be term limits. Term limits on congressmen and
he says, I'm Canadian, talk slowly.
Okay. Term limits. Okay. Is one thing we need to get rid of ASAP. Just, because that, and lobbyists. We need to eliminate those two things, and it'll fix American democracy.
Or put on term limits.
I'm sorry, put on, yes, enact some term limits.
The only term limits is the president.
Yes. And then you get these career Jesus Christ, we've got people.
How long
I
was
thought
Nancy
were
Pelosi in office?
Well, she's at least retiring. I was listening to a podcast the other day. There are like 6 or 7 standing people in public office, either in the House or Senate, who are older than her and are not stepping down and plan on rerunning. And one of them is like some dude in North Carolina I thought was dead, and he's in his late 80s. Like, come on, people! Not just term limits, but age limits too.
Now, this guy's no longer in office, but the current record is Robert Byrd, Democrat, and he served, and I am not kidding, he was in Congress for 51 years, 5 months, 26 days.
That's insane. It should not be a career. It's supposed to be you do your public service and then you leave. You know, because when you start worrying about your job and turning something into a career, you start to worry about your personal interest over public interest. So that's one thing. And lobbyists introduced the interests of big corporations like big pharmaceutical companies, just as an example. If you eliminate those two things, right? It'll fix every problem we have, because right now we're headed to this. Okay, so but instead of a network owning the government, we are now seeing in real time government-ran networks. We see networks, huge ones, kowtowing to the president of the United States and his administration so they can get giant mergers passed. I don't know what's got, and the sad thing is I'm almost convinced, I think I am convinced that the American government wants us to stay stupid so they can more easily control us to do what it is they actually want us to do. So we're not really a democracy. I mean, it's shameful. It's shameful. I don't want to talk about this stuff.
It's all right. It's all right. So Robert obviously is objecting to what we're talking about, but so saying, you know, am I feeling okay because I want the government to take over healthcare? And then he says, if universal government healthcare is so great, why several years ago did Keith Richards come to America for his heart surgery? So let me address that for a second.
Yeah, me too. People always say dumb shit like that. Of course, you're going to go where the best care is, and the best care is where the most expensive care is.
Yeah, that's the problem. We have the best healthcare on the planet in the United States, but we also have one of the most expensive healthcare systems. Because if you, it's when I was going back to the 80s, 90s, the reason that the healthcare system was able to stay afloat during that time period was a little something called the pre-existing condition clause. Mm-hmm. Every insurance company used it, which means that if you come to Blue Cross as an individual and you say, I want to get insurance, they do a health check on you and they say, oh, well, you know what? You have diabetes, that ain't covered.
Or Danny's a heart attack survivor. Next year will be 10 years since I had a heart attack.
Right. Which means if you have another heart issue, not covered.
Not covered. You know, yeah.
And so that was how health insurance companies made money, was to be able to deny benefits for anything that was high risk for that person. Now, the way that you could still get coverage as an individual is if you had employer-based group plans, because the pre-existing condition clause didn't work there. But not every employer offered that kind of a plan. And so that means that if you have something like a pre-existing heart condition or pre-existing, like for me, you know, I had colon cancer about 15 years ago, and so if I had any kind of cancer, it would not be covered. You know?
Dude, can I ask you, how is this legal? Maybe you know, okay, or maybe I'm being stupid. No,
it's not anymore.
Right? No. What I'm about to ask you. So I'm going through all this stuff now with my neck, my hip, and my back, right? I just had an MRI today. We talked about it off camera. And they're starting to bring up the fact that why didn't I disclose I've had cancer? And I'm like, I've never had cancer. And they're like, says here back in 2011, you had melanoma that has been removed. And I was like, oh, yeah. But I don't know. I guess it's technically, but I was at the dermatologist getting a checkup. They found a mole on the middle of my back. I didn't
mole, and he just took it off.
Well, no, they biopsied it. It was melanoma. They removed it. I got checked again a year later. I'm good, and I've completely forgotten about it. But now they're giving me shit for not disclosing that. What do you think about it? Because I don't consider, is that really? That's not cancer, right? When people say
melanoma is a form of cancer. It's of all the major cancers out there, it's the one you want to get because it's very easily treatable for the most part.
Yeah,
and it has a very high survival rate. as opposed to something like, say,
It's because I caught it
prostate
early.
cancer.
Is that what it is? Just because I caught it early, maybe, or something?
But as
Okay.
opposed to something like prostate cancer, which is, the symptoms don't show up till it's usually pretty developed, and that can be very deadly and blah blah blah. But so guys, get that finger in your butt.
Didn't that kill Bill Hicks, or was that something else? Pancreatic cancer, maybe. It was one of the two. So
But
the P.
pancreatic cancer is horrible. That's what
Yeah. Yeah.
But the point here is that, okay, so Obamacare eliminated the pre-existing condition, which even though it hurt the insurance companies, that's a very, very good thing. But here's what's happening now, is that if you get chronically ill in the United States, you have access to the best health care on the planet. However, you will go bankrupt. And,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what's happened with me. That's one of the reasons that I'm always having to drive Uber and all that. And we, thank God we actually managed to hold on to the house, but my life savings is gone. So
Yeah.
but it's not uncommon if somebody gets a chronic medical condition that because here's what happens. I go in for an MRI. They're like, no problem, $20, great. Then 6 months later, I need another MRI. Ooh, that's 2 in a year. That one's going to cost you $800.
Yeah.
And it's because what they do is the bean counters at the insurance companies. Yes, there's a lot of government regulation, but they'll charge exactly the maximum of whatever the government says.
Yeah, and it's easily provable because recently one of my doctors no longer takes my insurance, and I don't want to switch doctors. And they flat out told me that switching me over to cash, they did this and this and the other, it was going to cost X amount. And when I looked at what they charge my insurance company, because you get the explanation of benefits every time you do something.
They would charge like 10 times that to the insurance.
It's insane, dude. Like, how is that legal? Like, that's crazy.
That's the thing. It's fraud. That's all it is. It's absolute fraud. And in fact, I love I think it was Morgan from the Morgan & Morgan law firm. I saw an interview with him. And he was talking about the fact that, what's interesting is that in the United States, healthcare is the one and only thing that you don't know what the price is before you get it.
Yeah, and you can't really shop around, especially in times of emergency.
You can't go to a hospital and say, hey, how much for a bypass?
And for those of you who just tuned in,
we're talking about the healthcare situation in the Running Man.
no, seriously, that's the whole reason we're talking about this, because that's the catalyst for why he's joining the Running Man. His daughter's ill, and he can't afford medical bills, and it's even worse in his dystopian future that he's a part of, where they clearly have some kind of a class system. I mean, Jesus, he had to get through a armed gate that looked like something out of King Kong just to get into a part of the wherever he lived that looked like modern society. Did you notice that? Like I thought, I'm here for an audition. I thought it was the surroundings of a building. No, it's like how you get into where the upper class people can live. You know what I mean?
You bring something up that's brilliant to mention, because I can tell you a bunch. I take about 15, 20 different prescriptions right now. And one thing that I've had to do, and it's a lot of work, but yet go to a pharmacy and say, how much is the cash price for this? And they can tell you, but as soon as they know you have insurance, they won't tell you. Because
and then sometimes here at my pharmacy, if you're cash, they actually have little cards right there. They're like, here, this is a coupon card. You can use this and get even cheaper rates.
Get this. So I had a prescription where the copay on it was like $20, right? Mm-hmm. And so then, rather than do that, before I even say who I am, I said, what's the cash price on this drug, right? Cash price, I'm not making this up, 64 cents.
Wow.
And they wanted me to pay $20 to the insurance company for it.
Yeah.
And that, that's one of the ways that they make money, is when the insurance company says, oh, don't worry, all your drugs are $20, and you don't realize that most of those drugs don't cost that much.
Yeah.
There are some that are very expensive. Ozempic is still very expensive. But
so
here's lots of drugs that are cheap.
Here's a great example. Great example. So for my MRI today, I have to be sedated because.
Would they give you Valium? That's dirt cheap.
They gave me probably generic. It was I was trying to find the bottle. I can't. Alprazolam. Actually, hold up. I got it right here. No. Oh, no, I don't. Anyway, it's alprazolam, and I only needed to get 2 pills, right? My insurance covered it. I got it. And then, but yeah, no, if I were to pay out of pocket for this, it'd be like $1.
Right.
Yeah, if that. And when I get my regular prescription, which will go unnamed, I've had to pay out of pocket for it before because unfortunately it was stolen. I had to file a police report just for them, the insurance company, to allow, which meant I thought they were going to pay it, but no, because it's controlled substance, other shit. So then I go to pick it up, and I'm scared that it's going to be super expensive, right? It was 3/4 of a month's worth of supply of pills, right? So it was like roughly 70 pills or something. Cost me $20.
Right.
I'm like, whoa. But then I bet you if I look on my explanation of benefits, it's a lot more than that.
$200.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I did try to bring us back to the Running Man, folks. I did try.
We got a situation like this where prescriptions in particular are extraordinarily expensive, and so people have to get knockoff drugs, not even generic drugs.
Yeah.
Knockoff drugs that will, like in his daughter's case, it'll treat the symptoms but not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll help, and they even talked about it. It'll help her feel better, even if it won't help her get better. So that's why he goes to, and he's a smart guy, and I like his character because he's a family man. He cares about his wife and his daughter more than anything. He's a good man. He will not let somebody suffer. He won't let somebody.
Yeah, even in the build up to him, they're showing clips that they somehow have from his life. He's saving people's lives on the job, and that's why he's getting fired because apparently
he got fired because he violated company policy because he wasn't going to let somebody not die.
And
so he. So he's a good person, but he's also got some anger management issues.
Oh, that was one of the first things I said. I was like, oh my God, this guy got anger problems. And I love that
because, the thing about it is that I know a couple of people that have serious anger issues. And the thing about these, they're just like, they can be the nicest guy in the world, but you say the wrong thing and it sets them off.
And they often are, and it's usually got something sad to do with their childhood, like they were bullied or something like that,
And so like, I talked to one guy the other day, that was a friend of mine, and he was like, so I was going, oh, I'm doing great, man. And then we're talking, oh, so you're going to meet me for dinner or whatever. He's like, why are you always ragging on me, man? And it just started going on a tangent about, like I was the worst guy ever. And that's how anger problems sometimes manifest. This guy gets so angry that, he laughs in the face of a taser, right? And that's so awesome when he grabs that taser.
He is kind of badass, and he does it like 2 or 3 times in the movie where he just like somebody swings down and he's holding the taser part of the baton, and he's not like, he's like. So they do establish that he is a badass dude, and all the girls were loving. Like I was like when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, is this going to be like Die Hard? Except he's going to be in a towel for the rest of the movie. The part I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh my God.
When the towel falls off at one point,
and the girls had to love that. Yeah, you get to see this shreddedly ripped dude, and then you get to see his ass, while he's hanging off the side of a building. That was.
But I liked it because I liked him. Like my big problem with the Schwarzenegger Running Man was it's not a bad action flick, but I didn't care about Ben Richards in that movie. I just want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There wasn't enough character development, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is like one of those guys. Like in The Rock is very much like this, where you're not hiring Arnold Schwarzenegger back then anyway to be anything but Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. So they don't ever really spend we got like maybe 3 minutes on his backstory.
He was a helicopter pilot that refused to shoot some innocent civilians.
That's it.
Good. He's a good person.
He's a good guy. That's it. That's all we know. Whereas this guy, we know a lot more about him. There's a lot better job on the character development.
And he didn't even want to be in The Running Man. He wanted to do one of the other shows.
Yeah, he was trying to do one of the other shows. Yeah.
Yeah, he just wanted to make enough money to where he could get the meds for his daughter. And and the thing is, a lot of these, and by the way, I think Survivor was the beginning of it, but I think eventually you're right. We're going to have death shows on TV.
We're totally. Our prison, and this is exactly how they're going to justify it. Yeah. Our prison population is too much. We've got to do something with these people. Why not put them in some type of to the death thing? we can
And
make a
give
little
them a
money,
chance to make
give
some
them a
money for-
exactly, it's going to happen, dude. And it's out of all the worlds in the multiverse, out of all the universes I could live in, it has to be this one. Like, this is terrible. Like, we are in
So,
the
yeah,
worst possible timeline.
But yeah, so these games are all very dangerous, but the Running Man is the only one where nobody makes it.
Well, except for Lee Pace, we found out about that toward
but
the end.
even then, and nobody thought he made it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So the Running Man had, it's been going for several seasons, and in no case has, as far as the public is aware, has anybody successfully won the game.
Yeah.
But if you win the game, it's $1 billion payout.
Yeah.
And so, I could see. I mean, you think about society today. Imagine if somebody, legally could say, "Okay, guys, we want you to do this thing that will probably kill you, but if you're successful, you get $1 billion cash." I think there's a lot of people that would take that deal. And,
I do too, but not me.
and the funny thing is, by the way, on the other subject of how we had two back-to-back movies from 1987 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura that were adapted, we also have two Stephen King movies that were about $1 billion payouts for death contests this year, because we had this and The Long Walk.
I have not seen The Long Walk.
Yeah, and so, The Long Walk it's a good movie. It's a much lower budget, no spectacle kind of movie, but it's a good psychological movie to check out sometime. But yeah, so if you think that $1 billion payout for doing something that is truly risky, a lot of people would take. And actually,
I mean, look at Squid Games, man. Come on.
Yeah, people would do the Squid Games if it were real.
Oh yeah, they would. It's crazy.
And so I think that I don't think it's a far-fetched concept, and I like the fact that they managed to get a guy you can root for, and that's really to what makes and even though Running Man is technically not a horror film. One thing I learned a long time ago when I was taking film studies was to make an effective horror film, the first thing you need to do is set up a character that the audience likes.
Oh, wow.
What?
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that loud. Yeah, Stephen King traveled from the future. This book, so I just looked up some stuff on the book. The book, written in 82, takes place
In 2025.
in 2025. Wow. Yeah, the man came back from the future to try to warn us all, and we didn't listen. That's what happened.
So, I might have to get the book on tape. I was thinking about doing, for my next book on tape, I was going to do Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but I might have to do Running Man.
And Richard Bachman is the name Stephen King used.
Yeah.
So, that's
a pseudonym that he used for a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you think about what would you be willing to do for $1 billion? I mean, that's enough money to take care of you and everyone you know.
I like how the YouTuber broke it down, and there are 3 types of contestants in the Running Man.
Oh yeah.
And you're this one. And before he even said it, I was like, oh, that's Ben. You know what I mean? When he was breaking him down.
Well, and the funny thing is, this is also the second, the lesbian girl that was partnered up with him.
Yeah.
This is the second movie I've seen with her this year, because she was also in Christie, which was a surprisingly good film. But also playing a lesbian in that movie. But and I know some people find this shocking if you've seen her. She is an actual lesbian. So.
Well, that's because Hollywood doesn't hire actors anymore. In fact, you're discouraged. Yeah, in fact, you're discouraged from being an actor. You have to be exactly what you're playing, which is stupid and defeats
Brokeback Mountain is now cultural appropriation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, so he takes this $1 billion contest. He didn't want to do it, but he gets suckered into it. And because Thanos is convinced, he convinces him that he could win because he's got the attitude. And
I don't think Thanos convinced him of anything. I think he did everything the way he was going to do it regardless. I think the only thing.
Well, no, I mean, is Thanos convinced him to go into the game?
I don't think he did. I really don't. I don't think he did. I think at that point, when that money was there, he made his mind up then and there. Well, even if I die, they get this. And I know she'll be okay.
And that is the other thing that would also motivate the right kind of people to play the game.
Yeah.
Is the fact that just for surviving a few days, your family will get a
and that's the only way I would do it, because I have such a low value on my life in the grand scheme of things. I've often said in the past, and it wasn't just in a drunken stupor, that if my death would contribute in any way, shape, or form to the betterment of society, I'd be one of the first people on the front line for that cause. So if I found out that my family, my kids in general, like specifically, were going to be left a lot of money for me doing some crazy shit, I'd at least try. Probably wouldn't make it past hour 26, because they give you the first 24 for free. But yeah, they'd get something out of it for sure.
So yeah, I think I like I think it's scary how feasible this dystopian future is.
It's terrifying. And dude, what do you mean feasible? Let me read this to you again and remind you. I'm talking about a movie. It sounds like I'm talking about current day. We have network owns the news and the government. The only thing I would do is flip that around. We have podcasters are the only reliable form of news source telling the truth. AI changing videos to influence public opinion. Reality TV being the main source of television, with interactive social media encouraging people to snitch on others for personal gain. Which takes me to here in Nevada. They just opened up a website where they're encouraging people to snitch on motor vehiclists who are driving around with no tag or expired tags. What they want you to do is take a picture, upload it to this website, and you don't even get anything for it. You just do it. How in the first 30 days of this, it was a big news story. If you had to guess, and you're probably honestly going to underguess, but to me the number's still disgusting. We're raising a nation of snitches and little bitches now. What do you think the number was of people who took the time to take a photo and upload it to a website and get nothing out of it at all? Nothing.
In Nevada?
Nevada. Just happened. They just started opening this up.
It seems like, because with no reward whatsoever, it takes away a lot of the motivation, but I'll say 10,000.
13,500.
Hey, I was close.
You were close. Yeah. Tell me how sad that is. They don't get a free gift card to Applebee's. They don't get like a discount on their registration. They don't get jack shit. And 13,500 people. Now, I would like to run this same test in a close-knit community where people actually know each other and care about each other and see how that number would be. Because, and I don't have the data for this, clearly just purely speculation. Vegas is very transient. I bet most of those were people who are not from Vegas, do not live in Vegas, probably some asshole entitled tourists who heard of this new thing and are uploading it. Otherwise, we got a lot of, and we very well could because it is Vegas. Otherwise, we got a lot of really shitty people here. And I think everybody who did that should be, something bad. I'm not going to say they should get shot. I'm not going to be Hitler about it, but something bad should happen to them. That's just shitty. I want to know who those people are, because if I know any of those people, I don't want to have anything to do with those people.
You are in luck, Danny, because I just put up a website to where if you know who it is that snitched on the guys, you put their picture up on this website.
Yeah. Just make it worse. Just eats a snake eating its own tail. I get it.
So, now,
but anyway, I just described the movie, and I already gave you one real life example of how we're doing this stuff.
That's why I'm saying that it's so feasible. I don't think
it's happening. It's not feasible, man. It's happening. What are you, blind? It's happening.
We haven't had Death TV yet.
We got Stephen Colbert will no longer be on the air. A show that's been around for 30, 40 years will no longer be on the air. It's an American institution that's been around since the original Ford network. Sorry for all you Zoomers and whatever they're calling all these new ones, alphas or whatever. It used to mean something. It used to be a big deal. You used to tune into the news and it used to mean something. It used to be, you could take it as truth, as fact. Now I gotta fact check the news. What the hell's that's why I don't even watch the news I get most of my news from internet sources that I've vetted and that I trust. You know what I mean? Because you have to. And then even then I'll do a little bit of deep diving if I care enough about it. It's here, bro. The only thing missing is the actual TV show, The Running Man, which will probably be here before I die. They just won't call it The Running Man.
They should.
Or maybe they will. Who knows? They get the branding already.
So yeah, I was. But now, where the Running Man film I think fell apart for me is the ending. I don't think they really stuck the ending because I think it got to the point where you know once the contest was technically over. And we got into the whole double cross and all that stuff on the airplane. That was all fine and dandy, but then you start getting into the conspiracy theory thing and how he somehow survived, and then he magically appears in the studio to get his revenge, and then he magically shows up in front of his wife to, you know, have a happy, sappy Hollywood ending. I think all that felt really disjointed to me.
Really?
Yeah, it just felt like they were just kind of jumping around at random, like this was.
It might be they might have tested with screen audiences and didn't like the ending because I
think he died in the original ending.
I think the family was definitely dead in the original ending, and I don't know how it happens. Really, I'd like to know how it happens in the book. To be honest with you,
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, because. It did feel like, first of all, even if she didn't die, why would they not kill her after the fact? If, you know, with Ben getting away, defying the network, putting the whole world in a total chaos. He does die. And so they probably did that. And it tested poorly and they changed it because it did feel like a reshoot. That scene at the end, it totally did. Yeah.
In fact, and I actually think this would have been a badass ending, to be honest. And it's probably where they changed it because of test screenings.
Yeah.
The way that he dies at the end is he takes that plane into the studio.
He does fly the plane into the studio in the book?
Yeah. And so both he and Killian die.
See, beautiful ending. Because, dude, that's how they should have ended it. Because especially if the family was really dead, which I took them to be dead. Right. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Ooh. Man, this is a post 9/11 world, though. You got to think of that.
Yeah, but you know, I think we're far enough out to where because nobody freaked out about the.
Well, I would be interested to know if they shot that and if that was shown to test screen audience. I really, really would. Yeah. You know,
if I were a betting man, I'd say that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at
that would have been a better, less Hollywood ending, and I would have liked it more. It would have probably bumped it up half a point for me. I'm still going to give it a pretty decent scoring, you know. Also
in the book, Richards' wife and daughter were murdered shortly after he joined the game.
Exactly. So they should have just stuck with that. Yeah. They made it too Hollywoodized. So you know what? In fact, that's going to take it down, and I hate to do that, son. And I think I'm going to give it a 6.5 now out of 10. Yeah.
So that's why I think the ending felt like it jumped around, and it was probably because of these changes that they made.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought that it was a really solid action film.
It was entertaining. I'm very disappointed in myself for letting two critics convince me not to watch it. I actually would have preferred that I wish I'd have seen it when I wanted to. Yeah.
So there we go. So what you said you're going to give it a 6.5?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 65. I was going to give it a 7, but now that you've told, like, maybe I should still give it a 7. I don't know. It's not fair for me to.
I was good. As a
6 point. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 65% on Criticless is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to
give it a 64 just so that I can undercut you a little.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. So like the price is right, you know. So
speaking of undercutting, boy, did they undercut the Wizard of Oz.
Oh my God. So if we are going to get into that now, let me tell you. This was a huge disappointment. I'm shocked
to hear you say that. I thought you were going to love it.
And so did we made a whole thing. We went and saw it, and I shelled out the dough for IMAX, folks. Like I said, we spent $100 between the tickets and concessions, my girl and I, to go see it. So what made this a lot of things? This movie had a lot of things going for it for me to like it. I loved the first one. I never saw the play, was not familiar with the book, none of it. I am a huge, lifelong Wizard of Oz fan. It holds a very special place in my heart for personal reasons I don't care to get into. But I've always loved the Wizard of Oz. If I can ever afford it, I want to go see the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. I would have to I don't know,
much is that?
sell a fucking kidney to go. I don't even. It's a lot. It's obscene. I read a thing. It was like if you wanted to go and get the worst possible seats for 2 people, it's like $1,500 after fees, and I'm a local.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. And if anybody can find them cheaper, please send them my way. I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that thing where.
Is this your girlfriend here?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
She warned you.
So she did. So this was actually our first date, seeing Wicked. The first Wicked last year was our first date.
Maybe that's why you liked it so much.
No, it was my 3rd time seeing it when I took her to see it. I saw the first Wicked movie on preview night with my ex-wife, who I've known since I was 4. It was not a date. Right. We've known each other for a very, very long time. We have 2 kids. We're still very good friends.
The one you did a couple of movie reviews with.
Yeah, the May Divorce Be With You, we'd love to start that back up, but man, YouTube fucking us on that first video that we both poured a lot of ourselves into just really discouraged her. She's not used to that kind of thing. So she's a school teacher. Her time is valuable in the fact that she took out, because we shot 2. We only released 1 because of what YouTube did to us. But anyway, Wizard of Oz holds a special meaning to her as well because of her mother and her mother's past. So it's a big, she's got Wizard of Oz shit all over her house. So obviously when we were married, we did too. So it was something that we kind of shared for different reasons, but we have a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old together now. So we went and saw it, and it was only because I did not want to see it, to be honest with you. Because I'd heard what little bit I'd heard about it, I thought they were going to ruin The Wizard of Oz. And I love that movie too much. I didn't want to see something that was going to ruin The Wizard of Oz. Stacy really wanted to see it. So for a birthday present, I promised, even though her birthday's in April, and the movie didn't come out until November, I told her and again, this is back when I'm a big drunk and I'm broke and I can't really do anything nice. And I used to always do really nice things for her, even after we got divorced. I promised her, and wrote it up in a thing, promised her that I would take her to see Wicked when it came out, because she was buzzing about it way back then.
Right.
And so I was making good on a promise. I had no desire to see this movie. And I left the movie loving it. Could not stop talking about it. It was weird. It was kind of crazy, because I'm not a musical guy. Not really, I just, not very familiar with either of the leads. I'd never heard of the girl who plays Alphaba, whose name I don't even remember.
Right.
Sorry. And Ariana Grande. And the only reason Ariana Grande was on my radar was through her music. I never knew she was a Disney kid and acted, and I'd never seen her stuff on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
So all around, so then I went to see it again. And I was, just to make sure, you know what I mean? Like,
Gorilla has a special message for you.
No, you don't. Why remind me of stuff like that? No, no, because I'm pretty sure I was at least a fifth of whiskey down when I did that, at least. So anyway, I saw it again, this time in IMAX, and loved, and was watching it. I'd already seen it, so now I'm in IMAX and I'm watching it for the visual stuff, and enjoying it in kind of a different way. Loved it so much that I did propose it as, like, when I was courting MJ, as like, hey, would you like to see this movie? I think you'd like it. And she wasn't really interested in it either, and she's got a whole other take on it. She did not like it at first. It took her daughters helping me convince her.
Better taste in
But yeah, hers was a whole race thing, because she's, Black and Native American. So I guess she was looking at it through a totally different lens. But when her kids, who are, her kids, so they're obviously the same race, kind of were on my side, it kind of helped a little, I think. So anyways, after we saw it, I started going down this rabbit hole, just learning everything I could without trying to spoil part two. Because and if you read my review, I even say in my review that I would have never known there was a part two from from the marketing, and two,
Right, because they didn't show it as Wicked Part 1.
they didn't. Okay, the second I'm in the movie theater and it says Wicked, and then it goes part one, that's when I found out that this was part one. And I was worried that I was going to leave on a cliffhanger. And I even said in my review, this is the last line of my review, I didn't realize this was a part one going in, but even with that, it felt complete, like a fully contained story. It serves as a fantastic origin tale for the Wicked Witch of the West, leaving me satisfied. And yet now that I know about it, eager for part two. I can't wait. And let me tell you, I could not have been more disappointed. Wicked is, I gave it 100. I feel like it's a perfect movie. I never want to see Wicked for good again. I don't want to talk about it. I want to try to forget about it after we do so today, because the first movie is so good. This one just is it's just terrible. We can get into why I think so, but this is a very bad movie. It's
so what's, because for me, I'll be honest with you. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth on a couple of things. With the first film, I thought the first film was more fun, but it was a lighter tone. What
did I say? That's the first thing I said when in the opening scene where she's attacking those people building the yellow brick road. I was like, "Whoa, this tone is totally different."
Yeah.
Are we watching a Marvel flick?
I like the fact that like Ariana Grande, I just fell in love with her ditzy, ignorant version of Glinda, right? I thought that was funny. I enjoyed.
She was my favorite part of the first movie. I thought she should have won the Academy Award. I actually made an argument. I thought that she should have been nominated for Best Actor, not Supporting Actor. And I will say, as much as I dislike this movie, and I don't want it to be because I don't want people to think it's because of what I'm about to say, Ariana Grande is the fucking lead in this movie. She's got more screen time, more of a character arc. There's more going on with Glinda in this movie.
Well, and the film even ends with Ariana taking over Oz.
Exactly. Yes.
So my problem with the first movie was, and why I really, really didn't like the first movie.
You didn't like the first movie. I guess this was during the period of time we weren't talking. So yeah.
So I think it was well made. I think Ariana Grande blew me away. She was awesome.
She was,
The chick that plays Althaba did a good job as well. She wasn't as good as Ariana Grande, but she did a really good job. And so the cast I didn't have a problem with. The performances I didn't. I mean, because yes, it's musical theater, which means the acting is going to be over the top and things are going to be silly. I'm okay with that.
Do you realize? Do you also have to appreciate? Because again, remember, I went down a rabbit hole, learning as much as I could, waiting for after seeing the movie Wicked and waiting for this one to come out. The shit they did, man, has got to be applauded. They should have won more awards. I mean, every single take these actors did. They're singing like as best as they can every single take while acting. Like that's not an easy feat.
Because the thing is, like when you're doing actual musical theater on stage, you'd only get one take, right?
Yeah,
and so the advantage of doing it for film is that you get multiple takes.
Well, it's but it's also a disadvantage, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I'm a singer. I don't know if you're a singer or not, but as a singer,
I can't sing
that would be. I have a tremendous amount of respect for them as a singer. Like that's got to be hard.
But going back, let me finish now.
Yeah. Sorry.
I know you're passionate about this, but relax. With the first film, while I thought the performances were great, I thought the musical theater aspect of it was great, I could not get past the fact that they were taking a gigantic, massive dump on The Wizard of Oz. Now, you didn't think they did. I absolutely think they did.
I think they did in this movie, and that's one of the reasons I hated it. How did they do it in the first movie? Because I'm curious, because I 100% agree with this movie taking a giant
Here's what
dump.
I don't understand when you're talking about Wicked for Good, is nothing in Wicked for Good, to me, felt out of place compared to the first one.
Are you kidding me?
No. It was a darker, and in fact, my wife corrected me on one thing. Yes, it was a darker tone, But if you watch The Wizard of Oz, which I know you're a big fan of, when you get into the third act of The Wizard of Oz, it is very dark.
Yes, 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 it is. Yes.
So this follows that same kind of arc as far as tone. It's just split over 2 movies, so it feels a little jarring. Because
Yes.
you saw the bright and happy part in one movie, and now you're seeing the dark part in another movie, and so it feels a little off.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah, they should have made one movie.
Story-wise, was at all out of place, because Elphaba in the first movie was the only good person in Oz, except for Glinda. But Glinda was so stupid that she didn't realize.
No. Glenda did not. See, MJ and I watched Wicked yesterday, right before going to see the Wicked for Good. No, it was great. I love that movie. And but she even pointed out while we're watching it, what do you love about, like, why do you like this movie, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? This is one of the most, and I've been watching a lot of Boston Legal. And so I was comparing it to how I feel like the relationship between Alan and Denny is the most beautiful on-screen heterosexual friendship I've ever seen in my life. And I would not be surprised.
Let me correct you on that. It's Denny Crane.
Denny Crane.
Yeah.
Denny Crane.
Yeah. That's not an argument. Yes, it is.
Yes. I love it. And I've been, like I said, I'm sad. I've only got like 3 or 4 episodes left. And I wouldn't be surprised if the term bromance came from Boston Legal. But anyway, I was comparing that relationship and seeing the growth of that relationship and the changes and the strengthening of it over the course of the show, to how I love how they show, in the beginning, Glinda's a bitch, calls her I got it wrong yesterday. Baby, what's she call her? A steamed broccoli? No, not broccoli. Steamed avocado.
No, they didn't get along.
Artichoke. He called her she calls her a steamed artichoke in the class. She says all this mean stuff. She gives her the hat, does all this mean stuff.
Right.
But then she has the moment at the Ozdust where she shifts, and then she starts to want to become a good person, and you see that growth. So I would argue that not even Glinda is a good person in the first movie.
So I would just say Glinda grew in that movie.
Yes.
And by the way, I want to say, so Steve Preach was saying, assume they overdub all the singing that's not all live and set. Yes, that is. But what they do is
they did a combination, especially for the montages that they do.
Typically for a film, if you're doing a film of a musical, what they will do is they do actually sing while they're filming it. But then after the film is done, they all go into recording booths and sing a proper version.
Actually, you left a very important part out. A lot of the times in those musicals, it's not done that way. Like Chicago, for example, they're playing the tracks for people while they're performing.
Right.
So they can focus more on the acting, and then all they have to do is lip sync to themselves, and then they do the sound. They do the sound.
People can't.
They do the sound mixing afterwards. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The audio part of is done completely after the fact.
Yes.
However, most of the I would bet you that Ariana Grande for most of it was actually singing on stage. Because that's just
no. I mean, unless they're lying, man. Every single thing I watched, and I'm even watching the wire work. They're in front of the blue screens. They're showing. God, I wish I remembered her name. The chick that plays Elphaba. Yeah. They're showing her singing while she's being whipped around in the air.
But they still have to re-record it because
of course they do.
Like if they were to use the original sound, it would be like, and I am go. Oh.
No, I'm telling you, man. I want to look this up. I would argue that. I think they used quite a bit of the live tracks.
I guarantee you that every sound you heard in the theater was recorded in the sound booth, not on stage.
I would bet you a friendly wager, something small, $5. We got to figure this out. You heard it here, folks.
Let's see. And
oh, you're going to try to do it now. No, let one of the people watching us do that so we can keep talking. But I want to know more about how you felt the first movie shit on The Wizard of Oz, because I can tell exactly how this movie did.
Good guy in the first movie, and she is the good guy. The wizard is evil. You even pointed out.
Okay, isn't it? Hold up, isn't it exposed in the Wizard of Oz that he's a lying piece of shit, carny bad guy
he's
anyway?
A con man, but he's not evil. He wanted to. You know what? The reason he wanted to get Dorothy and the gang.
And I would argue he's not evil, even as we see more in Wicked for Good. He just stumbled into the land of Oz
in
and
fact,
decided.
I thought it was one of the most appropriate parts of the whole thing was when he says, "I'm not a bad person." He says, "No, you absolutely are." You know, that is in the dialogue. So
no, it is. No, bad and evil are two different things. I don't think he's inherently evil.
Hairs, dude. Come on.
Okay, but anyway, I bought everything in the first movie. It seemed to fit. The second movie,
I think the second movie fit with the first movie, but I don't. But I
no. Okay, and that statement is true. What I'm saying is someone who never seen the play, read the book, only had the Wizard of Oz, and then the first Wicked to go off of. Hold up. Okay. So then let me make my case for this, and this is what I wrote, about it a year ago. Is this the way the first movie was when it ends? It could very conceivably be a prequel to The Wizard of Oz that I have zero problem with because everything that happens in The Wizard of Oz can still fit. All we did was see every bad guy thinks they're the good guy. All we did was see the story through Elphaba's eyes and her point of view.
I will tell you. Hold on, I will tell you exactly what I told my wife before we saw this movie. I said, "Wicked for Good is going to go down in my book as being a great film, and it will actually make Wicked a great film if Elphaba breaks bad."
And I would agree with that, but
she didn't. But not only that,
she kind of flirts with it when that one when she changes.
Come on, Elphaba, which wasn't her name, but
dude, I'm not arguing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying
one of the most iconic, pure evil characters.
Yes,
in the history.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's where the shit starts to fall apart. Is everything now in your version of events? That's one way to do it, 100%. And I would agree with you, and I would like that better than what they did. And in fact, when she flirted with the idea, I started to think that's where they were going with it. Like when, she's all throwing her temper tantrum and tearing shit off and exposes the guns and has on that different outfit and says, they want me to be wicked, then I'll be wicked. So I thought that's where they were going with it. That's not where they went with it. And that would have worked too. Instead, what they tried to do was tie it in to The Wizard of Oz, and they do such a terrible fucking job of it that this movie not only ruins the first Wicked, it ruins The Wizard of Oz. So when I'm done talking to you today, I don't ever want to talk about this movie again. I may not even leave a review for it. If I do, it'll be very, very short, and I'll give it maybe I can't give it a 0. Maybe I will give it a 0. It's going to be a really fucking low score. It's a terrible, terrible movie that makes 2 other movies worse movies if I'm supposed to believe this is what happens. Okay, now take a look at the Tin Man. Okay, so they want to go into introducing these characters and giving us some insight and some backstory into the Tin Man.
I thought that was an interesting idea.
The idea, sure. Execution makes no sense. What is he? Kill the Beast in the fucking Beauty and the Beast? He's like Gaston. Remember the scene I'm talking about where he's just like, where the hell did that come from? That does not jive.
You were talking about how great hold on. You were talking about how great the first movie is. You want to know what really pissed me off after seeing the first movie?
What's that?
The realization is that when Dorothy's house came crushing into Munchkinland, it squashed an innocent girl in a wheelchair, and everybody was cheering it on.
Exactly.
And that was from the first movie.
And they did not. No, and I talked to, in fact, my girl got mad at me about this because she didn't realize this and said I spoiled something. But I made the comment about, man, it's such a shame that this sweet young lady's going to end up dead under a house. And she's like, thanks for spoiling. I was like, baby, in The Wizard of Oz, she says that you killed my sister. So we know that she's going to become the Wicked Witch of the East.
Flippers.
Yeah, the slippers, the saw. Well, and then they don't give us the iconic scene of the legs out. I guess because in the Wizard of Oz, they kind of shrivel up and roll under the thing. But I don't know. It was so poorly done. If you wanted to make this a good movie and try to do the stuff you're trying to do, she's got to break bad. What's the sister's name? Anybody remember the sister's name?
Nessa, I think.
Nessa. Thank you. Yeah. Nessa needed to break bad, and not just kind of break bad like she did. Oh, she's a governor with overreach.
Screwed up kind of make a spell.
No. Before that, even she was not letting animals, and then she added munchkins. They were not allowed to travel or leave, which is why she made Bach her personal house slave, and he started to resent her. So they started planting the seeds of making her
she
bad.
Was actually more evil than Elphaba.
Yes, exactly. But she never had a true break bad moment. She just sings a number. She's all distraught and lamenting and calls herself the Wicked Witch of the East. Nobody else refers to her as that. It's never set up anywhere that, it's just that, Glinda screws up and she's hurt and she's crying. And she says, if you want to get to Elfie, go for her sister. Now, she didn't intend for them to kill her sister. That's just what happened. So I think that was very, very poorly executed. If it needed to fit into The Wizard of Oz, Nessa had to break bad. Way more than she did.
I'll tell you,
she had to be seen as the Wicked Witch of the East and at least referred to it fucking one time. Sorry for my cussing. At least one time before the house falls on her. So that right there shits on poops on the Wizard of Oz, and really bothered me. So that's just one thing. But continue. Sorry.
Here's another good fix.
You saw I'm really worked up about this. I was looking forward to this movie.
I hated this movie, but I hated the first one too. But
I love the first one. That's why this breaks my heart so much. That's why I'm so mad.
But one thing that this would have been another great fix, and I think it would have been a clever way to tie this up in part 2 here, is if we have the whole thing with Glinda knows Elphaba's not really bad,
and so does Fiyero, and that comes up.
Well, it comes up a few times.
In public, in the engagement scene. You know what I mean? That was, anyway.
Yeah. So what you do is, and it wouldn't take a lot of crazy writing to do this, is you have a thing where you find out the whole thing was a bait and switch, and that truly the Wicked Witch of the West is Michelle Yeoh's character.
That could have been cool.
Yeah, and so because she was powerful. I mean, dang,
she could control the weather. She's basically Storm. We could find out the only thing she was good at is controlling the weather, which is still impressive as hell,
But I'm saying that, so if you made it so that at some point Elphaba was breaking good, and they were, she and Glinda were trying to, say, hey, there's corruption going on, and then they end up, the final fight, if you will, is between Elphaba, Glinda, and Michelle Yeoh's character, and Michelle Yeoh ends up beating them and kills Elphaba, but in doing so somehow transfers her green energy to herself, and she becomes the iconic Wicked Witch of the West.
Stop writing a better movie than I saw, but that was good. That was good. One little thing that I was happy with that happened, that I was talking to my girl about before we saw Wicked for Good, and I was worried that they would never answer the question or address it, and it would just be one of those things I'd have to wonder about forever. Thankfully, they did. I was like, I think the wizard is Elphaba's dad.
Yeah, because I thought that was obvious in the first one.
Oh, see, then maybe I'm stupid. I didn't think it was obvious. I thought it was like a definitely maybe is what I thought. You know what I mean? But not obvious. And it was all because of the green bottle. And then when he started drinking out of the green bottle and then offered it to...
Yeah, rewatch the first one.
Yeah. Well, I just did. And...
yeah, but I mean, with that specifically,
she was yes, no. Well, now I want to watch it again. Now that I know for sure that's what it is, you know what I mean. So definitely, and I will watch.
That's what I thought from day one when we saw the first one. I thought.
Well, I'm just glad that they spelled it out for morons like me. Then,
disgusting, by the way.
I agree.
I was sitting there thinking, my God, you're taking one of the greatest family films of all time, and the first thing you do is show that it was because a munchkin screwed the wizard while drinking some weird love potion, and that's what created the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, no, I again.
And then in this
second movie,
we have an entire musical number dedicated to foreplay.
Yes,
I thought that was absolutely
this movie. Like I said, did the opposite thing of Rogue One. I will argue till the day that I die, Rogue One makes Star Wars, aka A New Hope, a better movie. Thank you. I think Rogue One makes Star Wars a better movie. I think Wicked for Good makes Wicked and The Wizard of Oz a worse movie if I'm supposed to believe this shit's all canon. You know what I mean? And I just refuse to believe it is canon. I can't.
Technically, it's not canon in the Oz series, but it's because it's
It's not?
No.
Are we sure?
No, because the canon of the Oz series is the novels.
Okay.
And
Books. We're talking about books again. Well, anyways, I'm talking about on screen.
Right, but the original
I
series-
felt like the first movie was very well done and could have been easily a part of Oz, the Wizard of Oz movie world canon. Better so than any other attempts that have been made, like with the Fairuza Balk and whatever. Because that movie, Return to Oz, was terrible.
I thought Return to Oz was better than this crap.
Well, it was better than Wicked for Good. It was Wicked for so Tin Man. That's just one of the problems. I do want to specifically talk about the points where they try to tie this to the Wizard of Oz, because they're trying to, man. You're telling me this ain't canon, but they're trying to. Okay, so we've got Tin Man, doesn't fit at all, and then they don't even have the decency to show us any. If you're trying to set this up, recreate a couple scenes or show us a couple of in between scenes when they're on the yellow brick road of these new interactions. At least establish, is this...
She doesn't set Scarecrow on fire. She doesn't do any... The only thing we see is that she kidnaps Dorothy. That's it.
That's it. That's all we see. We see that. We see this Gaston-like performance from the Tin Man, but then they cut to the 4 people on the yellow brick road with Toto. And then we have... Or creatures, whatever. So now...
And the funny thing is, I wanted to see more of the Cowardly Lion.
I did too. Okay, let's talk about the Cowardly Lion,
now,
shall we?
I don't know, and I haven't looked it up. I don't know, but it sounded like they used audio from the original Wizard of Oz for the Cowardly Lion.
I don't...
For the one, because notice he only had one line in the entire movie, and it wasn't even speaking. It was just like,
No, he has lines. He has lines. He says that because it doesn't make sense. He talks about how she kidnapped him from the only home he ever knew.
No, Tin Man says that. He doesn't.
I'm not rewatching this movie, but okay, I'll just take your word for it. In my brain,
Tin Man is in front of the crowd describing what she did to the lion. But the lion is just cowering while the whole time.
So anyway, let's talk about that. Lion doesn't make sense. So in either aspect of the first Wicked movie or the Wizard of Oz, because in the first Wicked movie, they liberate that poor creature from captivity, and the last thing he sees is not Elphaba, because Fiyero runs off with him to take him somewhere safe, right? The cub. And okay, so what? Doesn't make sense there. Wizard of Oz, cuts to the Wizard of Oz, doesn't make sense there either. You know what I mean? Like, you think this shit would have come up, I don't know, once, right? It doesn't. Don't have a lot to say about the Cowardly Lion because he's in it a lot less than the other two. Now let's look at Scarecrow. Makes zero sense. Like, try to fit that round, peg in a square hole for me. Can you do it? I mean, explain.
No, it makes no sense.
What's the logic?
Because here's the thing about Scarecrow. So Elphaba turns her boyfriend into the Scarecrow, and then
on accident.
Well, no, I know, but then about 18 seconds later, Dorothy finds him. That's the only way the timeline works.
Yeah, and wait, how and none of this shit comes up?
Yeah. Right, and the fact that because obviously Scarecrow knows the whole thing because they run off together, and of course the final shot is Elphaba spitting up some straw. But they
should have never, ever, and I don't know what they do in the musical, but I hear it's very faithful, so I probably won't like the musical. I'm never going to see it. They should have never, ever had those characters on screen in this way. They should have never tried to fit it in like that, integrate it like that. They should have led up to the moment before and just ended it there, and we've all seen The Wizard of Oz. And I like your idea. Elphaba said, because the first story is so good about showing us how we can take somebody who's good and turn them bad, where society turns them bad.
Right, we're convinced they're bad just because of some superficial thing.
Yes, and we almost got that in this movie, in that scene I was talking about, and we don't. If we'd have done that and then ended this movie right before the events of The Wizard of Oz, I'd probably like this movie a lot. But to me, it takes a big fat dump all over The Wizard of Oz. This movie in particular.
Now, you were concerned about canon, so I did look that up. And fortunately, we can safely say, no, there's no canonical thing about Wicked because...
Okay.
So Wizard of Oz, now we know it was originally put out by MGM, but the current owner of the 1939 Wizard of Oz, as far as the rights are concerned, is Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Wicked was produced by Universal.
Okay, well...
So they are not part of the same...
Then that's fine, and I can live with it. I still don't like Wicked 2 as a sequel to Wicked 1.
Like either one of them.
I'm not going to watch it, and I do think Wicked 1 was
if I were freaking sitting at Warner Brothers, I'd be suing the crap out of Universal right now. Because, I'm sorry, I would sue them for both copyright infringement and defamation.
something. And maybe that was why we could never see Dorothy's face. Maybe there was some kind of rights thing there.
Why they did that. And they also, notice they made the point of showing the close-up of Tin Man's knees.
Yes.
The knees were robotic.
Yes.
I think they were doing that to try and say, see, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and which I also didn't make sense, did not like. And if that's the reason, so like, I don't know. This movie should have never... I'm sorry. Fuck the Broadway fans. All you fucking elites that can afford to go see plays on Broadway, good for you. This was made for mainstream. Wicked, period. The first Wicked should have been it, because they could have had their cake and eat it too. It can be its own thing. It's not canonical, but if you wanted to think it was, it makes perfect fucking sense. The first movie, to me, was a perfect movie. I loved it. This movie is trash and should have never been released. And the only saving grace for the studio is they didn't spend hardly any money on marketing this film. At all. Did you notice that? This movie had... Yeah, almost no marketing budget. And I hope it does poorly. I hope word of mouth gets out. Well, and it probably will, and it shouldn't. And
I will say,
you know,
when we went to see it, we saw it today, and the theater was packed.
Oh, you didn't see it until today?
No, we saw it today.
Okay.
And the theater was packed with a bunch of teenage girls who, when the credits started, were cheering.
Before the movie even started?
No, the end credits.
Oh, the end credits. Really?
Yes.
So they're clearly fans of the play, because everything I've heard is, it to a fault, it is very, very loyal to the play.
Well, like I said, I think this, I think this movie was trash. I think the first movie was trash, which is just...
I'll never agree with you. The first movie is a perfect movie. This movie, what is it you call a movie when it's worse than a zero? You have an old thing, I forget, from back in the day when we did...
Well, No. It's a 5 is what is if I score a movie 5 out of 10, then that means it's the same as watching paint.
Oh no! Didn't you used to call it an FU if it was worse than a zero?
FU out of 10 is the absolute worst possible.
This is an FU out of 10 for me. So I think my first one. No, that's not my first one. My first one was The Room. Yeah. Sorry.
I would give this one. I don't know. Yeah, I would probably give it an FU out of 10 because The Wizard of Oz is such a wonderful.
Yeah, this ruins The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. So I got to
take a dump on one of the greatest movies of all time
ever. Dude, it's being shown in the Las Vegas Sphere right now. The Wizard of Oz, for ticket prices that are easily 10 times, if not 20 times more than what I paid for an IMAX ticket to see this brand new movie. Okay, so Wizard of Oz has stood the test of time. It's a great movie. And this Wicked for Good, this is hurting my soul because I love the first one so much. This movie is terrible, and it's terrible for the Wizard of Oz. Like it shits all over it. I'm sorry. It just FU out of 10. I'm done talking about it. We can talk about other things if you want.
So then, let me ask you, what do you think about Starfleet Academy?
I was just talking to Eric about this yesterday. Are you doing that thing where you're going to cut me off, or do you really want me
I'm
to
not
answer
going
this?
to cut you off. I want to know what you think of Starfleet Academy.
Only reason I'm going to give the first